What are your general thoughts on the upcoming season?
Like everybody, I'm excited, eager, all of those things, much like the kids. It's been a long off season, especially for coaches. I think it's usually a longer off season for coaches than it is kids. They probably feel like that they come out of spring ball and go right into fall camp. But it's been a long time for us as coaches to sit around and talk about all the things that we want to do and can do and should be able to do and rosters and all of those things. So anytime you get those guys coming on campus and reporting for fall camp, you start getting the butterflies flowing a little bit, and you start getting excited. So, we actually report today. So our guys there, I've been a nervous wreck since I've been here, just to be perfectly honest with you, because all my guys are reporting right now. So I just hope that they got on campus okay. And so it'll be nice to go back home and see those guys.
Tell us about your quarterback situation and filling the void left by one of the top quarterbacks in OVC history in Katie Humphreys.
Yeah, quarterback situation. Obviously, we did lose a good one in KD. But I said this to some people during the offseason, during spring ball. I feel like that we're the best collectively. I've got 6 on the roster right now. We went through spring with 5 of them, and I really felt that we were the best I've ever been since I've been here collectively, from top to bottom. Now, the only thing that means is I got to find one. There's only one guy that's going to go out there and going to take snaps, and I think that's what makes fall camp so much different than spring. Is there's a deadline in fall camp. We've got to get somebody ready, and we've got to get them ready in a hurry. We don't have time to let a guy go out there and have a bad day at practice like we did in the spring, and then let him go take some more snaps the next day. And all of those guys understand it. It's a great group of guys, all 6 of them. Are really, it's a really cool group. It's a really dynamic group, just with their personalities and how they interact with one another. We've got some young ones, we've got some old ones, and so it ought to be a lot of fun.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for your team this year?
Staying true to the process of just trying to make Murray State the best Murray State can be. And I know that's like coaching cliche 101. It is what it is, but there's a lot of truth to that. I've been asked today about rankings and preseason rankings and how all those things factor into the team, and it doesn't at all. We're not going to allow it to, because all we're going to worry ourselves with is being the best Murray State team that we can be, and the only way that we can do that is worry about the present. We're going to worry about every day, every practice, every snap, everything that we do, whether it's lifting a weight or whether it's taking a snap or throwing or catching or tackling. We have to do it with the utmost importance for that rep. And I think if we'll do that, then the only thing that we are concerned with is the postseason. I think that the postseason, the rankings, and how we finish up will take care of itself. And I think that's the biggest challenge that we have as a football team is we've got to put all 3 phases together. If you look at us last year, we had some games where we were really good on offense, but didn't play very well on defense, or we were really good on defense, didn't play very well on offense. And then sometimes where our special teams just let us down. So we got to focus on the process of making all 3 phases of Murray State the best that it can be.
What are your general impressions of the OVC race this year?
Impressions of the OVC race, I tell you, it's really getting better and better every year. The OVC as a conference it's really good football. I don't think there's one team in this conference that can just show up and take their helmet off, roll it on the field, and say, "Hey, we're here, boys. We're going to win." I think you got to bring your lunch pail every Saturday or Thursday or whenever you play, and you got to be ready to play ball. There's nobody's going to sneak up on anybody. And it's going to be a 4-quarter ball game, which is what you want, which is what fans want, coaches want, players want, and I think because of that, it's made for a very exciting brand of football, and it's getting nothing but better.
What will it take for your team to be in the championship hunt this season?
For Murray State to be in the championship hunt, it'll be just what I talked about. It's going to be a clear focus on the task at hand. That's what we have to do. When we go back today and we have our team meeting, it's got to be clear focus on what we want to get accomplished in that team meeting. And then when we start practice tomorrow and we go through this fall camp, making sure that everybody's locked in and they're ready to roll on whatever it is that we're trying to get accomplished that day, in that practice, in that period. And that's tough to do. I mean, it sounds very kind of elementary. You got to be focused at practice. Yeah, everybody does it, middle school to college. But it's tough to do. In reality, it's very tough to get 90 some odd dudes and coaches and support staff and all of those things focused on, look, these are the things that we have to do to become better. And ultimately, that's my job. That's the coaching staff's job, and that's our players' job. Some of these guys that we deem as leaders, that's their job, is to make sure that we can get everybody involved, focused on the task at hand. If we'll do that, then I think we've got as good a shot as anybody.
Tell us a little bit about your schedule and how it plays out for your team this year.
Yeah, it's good for us. I'll be honest with you, it's good for us because we'll open up. We'll open up with one of our payout games with Kentucky Wesleyan, which is a good football team. But it kind of sets up good for us just because we don't have all of our guys during the summer. They're not with me June and July. So what makes fall camp kind of dynamic at Murray State is not only are we trying to teach schematics and trying to evaluate kids, we're also trying to get them into shape because we haven't had them. Today, like I said, today when I go back and I see some of these guys, a lot of them are either going to be 20 pounds heavier than I want them to be or 20 pounds lighter. So we'll have to go through the process of getting them in shape. And I think that's where that first game kind of fits in nicely for us, is because hopefully we can go through that game and still kind of doing some evaluations and see where we're at as a football team from a stamina standpoint, schematically, and those type of things. Because after that, our season or our schedule is pretty brutal. Just to be perfectly honest with you, you got Central Arkansas, which is a top team in the country that's going to come to our place, and we go play Missouri State, which we played last year. And then we got Louisville. We get to chase around the Heisman Trophy winner for a little while, and then we get into conference play. So we've got to be ready to go quickly after that first game.